Dream. That's actually a really good question. Really, really good question. Maybe Jeopardy. I'd like to be on The Chase. I think The Chase is actually my dream game show to actually appear on. Like, because a lot of game shows, maybe Family Feud, but like I think there's not really that much like money in Family Feud. I don't. And Family Feud is weighted in an interesting way where, like, first of all, it's really difficult to actually win a game of Family Feud. It's like very 50-50. Family Feud is. But even if you win, your first, like, fast money will be relatively easy to win. But then every fast money gets harder and harder. They give you harder and harder questions as the game goes on. So, like, you could probably win 20 grand. You have to split it a bunch of ways, you know, and I'm not sure about that. But I do really like Family Feud, and I think it'd be a fun game to be on. But I think The Chase is probably my answer to that question. Yeah, we could easily go. You're right. My wife says we could go because Family Feud tapes in Georgia. And it does. Family Feud tapes here over in Atlanta, which is like an hour and a half away from where we are. They could double spell there because they could, you know, Nissa into Ugin. Nissa will let you do stuff like that. Another card that I kind of really like to rotate. That'd be very nice when that card rotates. You'd be a stand-in cousin. You could, Boogeyman. Honestly, I wouldn't want to pick anybody in either of our families. And my wife feels the same way. That's not like a slight towards her family. My wife feels the same way I do. I wouldn't want to pick like anybody in either of our families to be on Family Feud with us. The thing is, these game shows where you have to pick other people to come on with you as a team, I don't know that we know anyone we'd be confident enough in. I know that sounds really messed up. Kind of snobby, right? But, I mean, we're from Georgia, and a lot of the members of our family are slightly older, and, you know, older people in Georgia, you know what I'm saying. We brick on the fiddle thip, and we'll finally good game our opponent. We lost this game like 8 turns ago, but I've just been having fun talking. I was hoping we could run them out of cards, but they still have 15 left, so it's just not going to happen. We should hold auditions on stream. That would be awesome. And try to get some people in. It's like, meet us, go to Family Feud. Oh, Nick Arcade, yes. Oh, Shane's birthday tweet. That is the perfect answer to that question. Yes. Nick Arcade would be the best show. But did you even like win money on Nick Arcade? Like, what did you win when you played on Nick Arcade? They should do that again. Why hasn't there been another game show like Nick Arcade? Such a cool game. I miss that. Call the crazy uncle. Here's the thing about Family Feud, right? Is that like you actually do want different kinds of people to come on Family Feud with you, right? Like if you have an uncle or an aunt or like your mom you think is crazy or something, like, bring her on. She's got a different perspective than you do. So she's going to look at these questions in a different way and she might nail one of the, you know, if there's 6 answers on the board, she might nail one of the answers, you know, 4, 5, or 6. Yeah, you just never know, right? But there are certain rules to Family Feud. Like there's always going to be, almost every single question on Family Feud has an answer where all you have to do is say penis. And like, that's the answer to the question. Like guaranteed, right? Another reliable answer is money. That's for whatever reason, most questions I ask on Family Feud, money is going to be one of the answers. There are reliable answers to most of Family Feud's questions. There's definitely a strategy you come in with, but the nice thing about Family Feud is that dumb people answer surveys, so you need dumb people on your team. Exactly. That's kind of the point I'm making. They do these, as far as I know, they do these in malls, and they mostly ask, like, older people in malls. And, like, the answers can get a little bit weird. And I'm pretty sure that if, like, I think it's 2 people, it might be 2 people. If 2 people said the same answer, they'll sometimes put it on the survey. So sometimes you gotta come up with really wacky stuff to win on Family Feud. Wasn't there a Nickelodeon show where kids rode motorcycles and stuff? I don't remember that. I remember Legends of the Hidden Temple. I don't remember anybody. Oh, was it Guts? Did anybody ride motorcycles on Guts? Does anybody remember Guts? It's such a silly show. With the aggro crag. It was like a foam mountain that you had to climb in the last round. It was kind of like a American Ninja Warrior, but with kids. Sort of like an early version of that show. What a weird show. Why do you watch SBMTG? I watch for the Family Feud strats. Yeah, I try to bring strategy talk into everything I do. That's why I'm super tired learning Scrabble strategy over the last 3 days. I can't do anything without getting like obsessively into it. I'm one of those people. For going for winnings, I'd go The Wall. You're almost guaranteed 6 figures if you go into it planning on signing the contract from the beginning. There's a couple of shows like that. There was a show that Dax Shepard was hosting for a while called The Wheel. And I actually think this is one of the most exploitative game shows to ever exist, period. Because there's so many ways to win absolutely nothing on this show. And the way that it's engineered, you'll have, $500,000 in your bank and you'll lose it all. And you'll still have half the game to play. So you'll build back up to $250,000 and you'll lose it all the way this game is engineered. And I think it's like executive produced by Justin Timberlake, and it's such a sleaze bag of a show. And the way part of the strategy works is that you have to bring like a friend or a family member or something. I'm going to take my headphones off for a second because they're uncomfortable. But yeah, the way it works, you bring a friend or a family member, and towards the end of the game, they offer you, 3 or 4 different figures. Right? And if you take the lowest figure, you don't get to play anymore. Right? Or you can take like the next highest figure and you get another spin, or you get like an expanded number of options on a question or something like that. And the highest offer is obviously you get like no perks whatsoever. And a lot of times, the absolute best decision in this situation, every time, I mean like 94% of the time, the best decision in the situation would be for your friend to take the lowest offer on the table. Take like the $80,000 they're offering you. Because if you don't take that, your chances of winning any other of the other options dramatically decrease, like drastically. It's almost impossible to win money on this show if you like don't take the first offer. So people have done it, but statistically, if you don't take the first offer, you ain't winning nothing, right? Press Your Luck is like that too. Press Your Luck, both the old one and the new one, they do this thing where there's a round or 2 rounds where like three players play the game. And then you have 4 rounds of 1 player playing Press Your Luck. And after the first round, you can take your money and all your prizes and leave. Or you can play another round. All right? And you build up prizes, take your money and leave. Or you can play another round. And this happens 4 times. And if you get 4 whammies, if you hit the button and it lands on a whammy, if you get 4 of those in the last 4 rounds, you're out. You don't get any money whatsoever. So the right way to play that game is pretty much always to take your money in like the second round. That's basically, if you push it past, round 3, round 4, you're going to go home with nothing. You're going to have $1 million bank and a bunch of prizes, and you're going to go home with nothing. You paid for the plane ticket out there half the time because not all these shows pay for the plane ticket. So you paid for the plane ticket out there. How are you even going to get home? You go home with literally $0. Sometimes I don't understand like game show contestants, but I also feel like the way they audition and screen for game show contestants, they're not exactly taking like the brightest or people who are the most learned on game theory. They're not taking those people some of the time, right? I know for a fact that on Price is Right, before you go in, you do like a little 20-second, interview with somebody, production assistant probably. And they pick you based on your personality, right? So if you're really like up and you're excited and like, woo, I'm this kind of person, then you're like much more likely to get picked, right? So they're not picking based on like, oh, this person can play the game. As a matter of fact, they really don't want those people playing the game. So anyway, Dev got the game show knowledge on lock. I watch too many game shows. I watch way too many game shows. Have I seen the Jenny Nicholson video on the worst game show ever? I have not, but I do really like Jenny Nicholson as a content creator. I think it was H Bomber guy tweeted out like 2 months ago that Jenny Nicholson is the best YouTuber and we should all just quit. And like, I almost agree. Jenny Nicholson is really good. I like the carnival game. It's like the carnival game scam. It absolutely is. Just imagine a guy in like, the straw hat with the red and white striped jacket, like, you sure you don't want to go for another one, son? Like, that's exactly what's happening. Double or nothing there, boy. Like, don't do it. It's a trick. Don't do it. Unless you learn the entire pattern of Press Your Luck and always win. That was awesome. Yeah, that was one guy did that. I think he may have gotten popped or sued or something, but he may have won the lawsuit. I forget exactly how that story went. But I know that, yeah, some guy sat on his couch and learned all the patterns for Press Your Luck. You'd think it would be easy enough to randomize the patterns, but apparently, maybe it was just cheaper back then to have set patterns that the board goes in. But, I mean, it's RNG. Just have a random number generator. You'd think it'd be easy enough to randomize the board. But speaking of Scrabble, do you remember the old Scrabble TV game show? I don't. I think there's one episode of it on YouTube. And when I saw that episode on YouTube, like in my feed, I was like, oh, this existed? I don't know. I didn't know it existed at all. Win a prize for your lady friend there, son. I'm telling you, man. That guy is the devil. Do not do it. Speaking of like game show hosts that are the devil, if you get a chance after stream or whatever, just go to YouTube and put in The Chase Australia. All right. The host of that show is legitimately probably like the best game show host of all time. But that guy is the devil. That dude is like my idea of what the devil would be like were he walking the earth. Like he's a huckster. He doesn't care at all. He puts on the face. He's very game show host. He's very animated. It's funny, like everything the guy says comes with an animation and he gesticulates all the time, right? But that guy, I'm telling you, you get a chance to watch an episode. My theory, my not actual conspiracy theory, my theory is that the guy might actually be Lucifer himself. He's so slimy. But he's also maybe the best game show host ever, which contributes to my theory that he's in fact the devil. But anyway, have I watched the documentary on the guy who scammed Price is Right? I have. But I feel like I appreciate the follow that one guy. We're not even playing Magic right now. We're just talking about game shows. I find that this is one of my favorite things to do on stream is just hang out and talk with y'all. But yeah, we watched that documentary, and I think it's kind of spoilers, everybody, for that documentary. But that the guy himself didn't really win that much money on Price is Right. He helped a couple of people win money, but like when it was his turn, he kind of like had bad luck, I think it was, on something. But like he himself did not really win that much money, which was really sort of disappointing, honestly. In terms of this documentary, you know, you expect him to just have the biggest winnings of all time, but I think he contributed to someone else getting the one of the highest winnings ever. So, but yeah, that's actually a good documentary. I like The Price is Right, but I don't think it's a great game show. If if in terms of like if you want to go on a game show and win money or whatever, it ain't it. I honestly think Jeopardy is the best game show. If you want to win money, Jeopardy's the best game show, but there's also a lot of, a lot that you have to put into winning money on game show. There's definitely, a sort of a give and take there. Foam Jackson now following. Appreciate the follow, Jackson. But yeah, you can keep playing on Jeopardy for as long as you want. As long as you keep winning, you can keep playing. The people who have won the most money in game show history have all been Jeopardy contestants. So, I think that just as a matter of fact, Jeopardy is, if you want to win money and get rich playing quiz shows, Jeopardy's the one, right? But you ain't getting lucky at Jeopardy, right? So you have to really have all the knowledge in the world.